Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to. Okay, gentle kisses of rocket. Join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos from the Muslim country of France, Jay Nice, J Dog, Juicy Johnny, Johnny Woodard, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Guys, we're going to get into it because we got our guests here, but I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys, everyone who came out to the 82nd sold out Comedy Chaos last night. And also, I want to say, oh no, this is, anyways. And then I want to thank everybody for just being alive, guys. Go to SamTripoli.com. I'm going to be in Tucson, Flagstaff, Tucson, and El Paso this weekend. And then I'm going to be in Summerfield, Florida at the end of the month. So we got a lot of great shows coming, a lot of comedy, a lot of conspiracies. America. Okay, here we go. Very excited to bring that's all at SamTripoli.com. Very excited to bring our guest in. He's deep into the occult. He has great videos out there. I see it on Twitter, YouTube. He's crushing it. Please welcome DoeNut.
Yo, what up? It's DoeNut.
How are you, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just so grateful to be up on here. And the last time I was on here, I made a prediction that came sort of true. It wasn't really a prediction.
I remember that. What was the prediction?
I was talking about the year of 2023 being the year of the rabbit was going to be a lot about aliens. There's a bunny on the moon, and this is the lunar calendar. And through the Hollywood programming, you always got a bunny next to an alien. There's like movies like Knowing where they bring the bunnies into the spaceship. But Bugs Bunny was the first one abducted by a UFO, Marvin the Martian. And right here, you got the Obamas putting out their new Betty and Barney Hill documentary and whatnot. So it wasn't just the Hollywood programming, but you even got Evelyn de Rothschild magazines like The Economist going deep in how important the UFO agenda is. So that was pretty tight, that I got that one right.
I feel like you also predicted like some big event was about to happen at a certain time. There was like a false flag or a shooting or something was going to happen. And you said it should happen around this time. And it 100% did. I wish I remember the specifics of it, but you 100% called that. And I was like, damn, he called that.
Yeah, that was nuts. There was a couple of them. I remember in New York, there was a bus and it was just picking certain dates that seemed to things happen on. There's some symbology to dates like 911. That's like emergency number, or the Illuminati being founded on 5/1 May Day, and that's like a distress call. From learning from the greats like Jordan Maxwell, rest in peace, and stuff like that.
So, real quick before we get into everything, I want. Can you tell us, DoeNut, for those who may not be familiar with your work or your last appearance on the show, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
You can find me at DoeNut.com. I spell donut like what up, doe, DoeNut. And I like to talk about Illuminati Dolphins. And yeah, you can just find me on YouTube.
Perfect. Links below. Real quick before we get into everything. Yeah, look at that. Crushing it. Just crushing it.
Yeah, it's like a flash page. I gotta delete stuff all the time, but
yeah.
I was wondering why you had a couple videos, so you put them up and just delete them
Yeah.
real quick. Okay.
I put
Do you
them
go on
up.
Rumble at all? We're on Rumble.
They're all on Rumble though. Yeah.
What do you think of Rumble?
I think that they pay terribly. I think I made like $6 in the last
Are they
couple.
allowing you to be seen though? I mean, we're getting better numbers there than we have on YouTube.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, with business, it's whatever you put your effort and energy into is gonna thrive. And so if you put in it on the Google algorithms of YouTube, Rumble, wherever you put your, focus, that seems to be what gets built.
So I want to get you're into the are you into inversion that they invert stuff?
They invert everything. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know you have a whole presentation. I want to get into it, but I want to get because Johnny's in France right now.
Mm.
And this is another weird thing that where Johnny is, obviously everyone speaks French or some sort of Middle Eastern language, right? That's what's going on over there. But over here, there's a little like stir going on that the French first lady is actually a man right now. And there's a lot of evidence stating that this is true. Now, Candace Owens, who I agree with more than I don't, but I do have times I don't agree with her, but I agree with her more than I don't. She's like, I'm staking my reputation on this, bang, bang, bang. This is what I believe.
So this is the lady that's supposed to be.
Yes, because if you take a look, if you look around, but she
Wait, show her young. I'm sorry. Look at that younger picture of her actually down there below, like right there, second from
I don't
left.
think
Is that
that's her? I think that's her daughter. I think right.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
How'd she
that's
have a
her
daughter?
but nobody can find her first husband. Okay, and no one can find pictures of her below younger than 30 that of her as a girl. They can't find it. Now, the only picture they put forward so far is a black and white picture of her family. And she's trying to say she's the little girl that's sitting on the dad's lap. But everyone's actually saying that she's the brother that's standing to the side. Now, what they said is all you have to do is find your brother, walk in a picture with your brother, and you've solved this. Not done, not nothing. And the reason I bring this up is because I do believe in my heart of hearts right now that this is laying the groundwork for people to start really talking about Big Mike.
Oh,
And because once this gets established that, hey, it's looking like, because there's a lot going on because Marcone is 49. She's 70 something. She started dating him when he was 14 or 15.
mm.
And if it was the other way around, the world would be losing their skulls. But, at the time it was perceived that an older woman was pursuing a younger art student who was supposedly, supposedly gifted. So but the whole point is that, now we have this thing. And of course, Candace Owens' whole thing is that, they're blackmailing them. And I go, oh, no, Candace, this is how you play the game. He's with a trans woman. That is how you play the game in the elite. So do you have anybody have any thoughts on that?
Man, yeah, that is absolutely possible, right? With Michael Obama, you're talking about. I've been seeing the evidence of the Adam's apples for a while, and people throwing me this theory. And at first, I shrugged it off, like, "Oh, okay." They're probably jealous of the fame and success and photoshopped beauty. But the more you look into it and the more you look into the occult, they do this inversion. It's the Baphomet, right? So they've been worshiping these, I always say the word wrong, but the Baphomet Adrian, I can't say the word, but it's absolutely there with the occult, the rituals, and also castration rituals of cutting off their peepees, is that what Matthew Eric called it? Cutting off the peepees, the castration, going back to the Eleusinian mysteries, where these cults are really stemming from. Even modern day UFO cults taking the LSD and the schizogenics for spiritual experiences. And on top of that, the females actually being in power, and those bloodlines of the female that is overlooked as well. So I thank you for bringing that information. I'm going to have to do a deep dive on that. That was dope. And your audio, it seems to be cut right there.
I think you're
my
muted.
dog was barking, so I muted. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Sam, I'm fascinated by that whole thing. I just don't know. It could just be distraction, just trying to get us off
I
the
think
scent
that's
while
definitely
something else is
possible
going
as
on.
well.
Like, hey, look here, check this out, and then we miss Gavin
But it
Newsom
also
coming in
can
the
be
back door.
demoralization.
Yeah, but who does that demoralize? The Michelle Obama thing,
Who's it demoralize? It demoralizes the black community, that they were seen as this giant pillar of greatness for that demographic. It demoralizes the country, because even though I think most people don't care what adults do, I think that they're going to be like, oh my, we just got we just totally got fooled and got completely and utterly lied to, that this giant lie on a very high level. I mean, you already have a group of conservatives who are very influenced, who are very upset with the influence of cultural Marxism everywhere. And now it reached the highest levels of office. I mean, this is what I think this is. More than anything, all this stuff coming out, especially in hip hop and all that, is just a giant demoralization campaign on the black community. I think it's like all your heroes are either gay or CIA. I mean, maybe that's the name of this episode, Gay CIA. But the point is that like all this is done to bring psychological effects to people. That's my, every group has just worked.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, so say that was true. That might make her bigger than she is now with Michelle Obama.
But I don't know if it's bigger in a good way. I think it makes her even a bigger target.
Hard for her to get
now,
any bigger.
Because people don't like getting lied to.
And also the culture, right, in America goes worldwide. You just got 50 Cent on tour, right? All over the world, right? So it's not just like one community. This is worldwide social engineering programming that takes place in America first, through the fashion industry, through the music videos, through the music. And it's definitely targets certain cultures at first, but eventually it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Let's not forget the rest of the world laughing at us.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just crazy that these globalists, like these positions that they've done. I mean, look at Henry Kissinger's wife. Look at Chuck Schumer's wife. It's like it's rampant where people are like, "What is going on here?" And then you go, "How does this just naturally happen, or is this like some kind of ritual?"
But what type of batting average will we have if Big Mike is Big Mike? Like, do you know, like you know where we stand? If that shit comes through,
that would be like Ohtani pitching a no-hitter and hitting a grand slam in the same game.
We'll see if he ever pitches again. Yeah, it would be almost as effective though, right? In both of these cases, for it just to continue to be a rumor and never be proven. You know what I mean? Just to continue to be a thing that's out there and kind of plagues them, but never gets. Because how would that actually be proven? It would take one of them coming out and saying it, right?
Bro, and also like think about the humiliation ritual with John Cena looking like a Ken doll. I mean, like the Ken doll and the Barbies, they're kind of like they don't have a sex as well. And there's this guy, Barney, I think it's Matthew Barney. I believe he dated Bjork. and he came out with the Cream Master cycle. Now, this is a fashion show, and don't look it up. Don't Google Cream Master because that's like a male, like genital type part. So you're going to get bad images. But Matthew Barney's fashion show, they show the castration of this guy getting his junk cut off. And there's all these like masons with the aprons like behind him. So it's just so weird, the symbolism. And that's
hold on, they literally cut off this guy's junk.
In this fashion Cream Master cycle art piece that he created, we can see that you got what's her name? That crazy chick that does
there's so many crazy
rituals.
chicks.
Marina Abramovic.
Abramovic.
Oh,
yeah. So Marina Abramovic having these celebrities cut off their fingers or cut their fingers deeply and mix it with semen and blood. The fashion industry is so interesting because it's predictive programming and rituals all in the same time. I mean, the whole Balenciaga thing is probably the most recent one, but this going back to Alexander McQueen, where he was showing like these hybrid entities with the transhumanist agenda, these robots that are now here today. And if you watch the movie Zoolander, it sort of shows the MK Ultra mind control assassin Manchurian candidates with that movie. That movie was sick, and the guy who made it just like ended up offing himself too. So rest in peace to him.
That's crazy, dude. That's nuts. So yeah, it's this. It's like, are things getting worse or are they getting more obvious? I think they're just getting more obvious, and I think it becomes more and more desperate. I don't know, man. I think we're winning. I really do think we're winning. This TikTok ban is a little, weird, but
okay. So wait up. There's something I got. We'll talk about it later. But I was just gonna ask you. You don't think it's weird that Trump is backing down on TikTok being not banned? Now he says if they ban that empowers Meta, and then that's not
100. Well, he's right about he's totally right about that. He goes, it's just like they are just, it's like eliminating the competition. It's the most anti capitalist move you can do, and everything they're saying is complete and utter lies. I mean, it's just lies. Like, they just think you're dumb. They're like, TikTok could put out the election's canceled, and you're like, who else could do that is the news, which, right, making up all these reasons why you shouldn't vote in person. It's just they want to control the narrative. And then there's all this stuff about the ADL coming out right now and how they want to that they can't control TikTok because it's not US government control. It's not CIA and FBI control.
See. Okay, I was wondering why they said that. That makes total sense. Of course. Huh.
And you literally have the green black guy just going off on that. But yeah, so what do you want to get into?
Oh, I want to get into a bunch of stuff. Dolphins, Illuminati, mind control, TikTok.
Yes, and yes.
TikTok, for example, it's such short little clips that we get in America, but over in China, I believe they're longer. So everybody tuning into this show right now, you're listening to long format content on the Tinfoil Hat podcast. So you are part of the elite in a sense because you're able to listen to something longer than these little 5-second Wicca TikTok clips. And that is the future of really dominating the future, is being able to just sit and meditate and not have to get that dopamine spike that Aldous Huxley Brave New World. The population is not having intercourse anymore because they get the same dopamine spikes of pleasure through their TikToks and whatnot. I mean, this is a science,
bro. It's
scientific
just so crazy.
Control. There's so many weird things I look at, though. Like the word TikTok. It's the IAO, right? Aleister Crowley chanted the IAO, and the whole spell casting of our English language, like spelling, is in this order of IAO. So you got tic tac toe. Everything goes into this order: hip hop, IAO. So Kit Kat, everything. So it's just so weird, like
Oh,
everything.
that is crazy. And that's, that I was having a talk with somebody. I was on her podcast and I was just trying because she's like, I'm gonna join the OTO. I go, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not good. It's low vibrational. Don't get into it. And you see that guy's influence on everything is everywhere. It's unbelievable. And it's all the people you can't stand. So it can't be good.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. Cali, I lived out there for a while. I moved to near Magic Mountain, Santa Clarita for Valencia from 2012 for a few years, trying to get sober and I couldn't. I was so miserable. And I went there to get the, move. Oh, if I go here, it'll be better. I'll go here, and I'll go to Valencia.
Geographics. They call that geographics.
I did the geographic. And I go to California, I come back to Arizona, I go there, but it was a blessing. And this was 2012. Remember, that was Fukushima, 2012. So much crazy stuff was going down at that time. The death of that one dude, Fast and Furious, who was in that Skull and Bones movie. Paul Walker. He died right down the street. And I remember I went to a bar to drink. I'm trying to get sober and I'm going to like the bar and people were partying at the bar there because they had the security cam footage and they got a big payout. So I'm like, why is God showing me all this weird stuff? And I was miserable.
Whoa, that's crazy. So the people who had the cam footage of the security of him crashing and dying had probably made a deal with somebody to sell it. And they were celebrating that they were going to make a ton of money.
Yeah, they were all celebrating, and I thought it was weird. And I was just getting into Kassarian, Professor Griff, David Icke, so I was very paranoid. It was just a big spiritual thing, and it happened right in front of Magic Mountain. So Magic Mountain, the mountains, the mountain symbolism, the Twin Peaks. I think that there's a lot going on spiritually. It is crazy. But California, I went out there recently and I went down to the walk, right? The Hollywood walk and whatever, where the Babylon Ishtar gate used to be at. And I'm filming it. I went to go see this rapper, BLP Kosher. He's like my favorite rapper right now, but, I'm just filming stuff. I stayed in Laurel Canyon at an Airbnb, and that was trippy. I'm not trippy. Against California. California is cool, but it's also, you can just see how. I don't like downtown. Downtown was scary. Downtown LA.
Yeah, and it's crazy because people act like that's a new thing, and it's not. It's always been scary. I don't know why they refuse to develop that area because there's so much congestion in Hollywood. They can move everybody down there.
There are massive, really nice hotels down there. It's just the problem is 3 blocks away. There's an open, just an open air market for crack. It's the craziest thing. It's always there's some primo hotels down there, some really high end hotels. But I think if they ever do that, they have that planned thing to have that air bridge thing to Dodger Stadium. If they ever get that going, I think that might revolutionize downtown. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but if they ever did that, could change.
I thought
things.
The Olympics would help it out, but I doubt it. It's too much.
Maybe
too crazy.
that could XG. That does seem to turn cities around. I mean, that could happen for sure.
World Cup too. The World Cup too.
Yeah,
That's
there's
around,
a lot coming up what will happen is they will just end up paying to take those people and put them in another part of California. But that could clean up downtown for a while. Yeah.
For a while. Yeah.
I got a question for you. Has it pissed you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for over a decade and you still done nothing about it? It makes sense. Crypto is complicated and it's really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't have to know a thing about crypto to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTube's James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest, as you simply copy along. So let me tell you more about James. He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 54,000 subscribers. Congrats, James. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put in $100 into each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Damn, dude. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said. That one call has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but my viewers get full access for just $1. $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, but there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. It's ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you. Copymycrypto.com.
Well, I grew up in Vegas, and that place was so violent. And going to Arizona, going to California, I think it's much better than Las Vegas in the 90s. Maybe not today, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was there. I was there in college in the 90s.
That's right. You went to UNLV.
Yeah, dude. I was a running rebel, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Running rebel.
They just had a strange event that went down there, and it's on the 36 parallel, the 36 ley line. So Las Vegas, where that Luxor pyramid is on this 36 parallel, which connects to Tennessee. And I think there's rituals being charged on this ley line. I know it sounds wild, but
not on this show.
Not on this show, though.
We're down.
I think they're charging this ley line up, and you got the Las Vegas event, that took place on the 32nd floor. The number stuff, it gets so it could get so ridiculous, but there's also some truth in it. Like the 32nd floor, there's 32 pathways in Aleister Crowley's Kabbalistic magic, and the first Masonic lodge in Vegas is Lodge 32. So that being on 32, the guy bought 30 on his road to 33 guns. It's just so much weird symbols be popping up. It's either
I listen, you know what else is kind of weird? Barbecue in Haiti, that guy. I think he's wearing a Freemason.
He is.
Jewelry.
He's wearing a Freemason chain. The barbecue gang leader. I don't know too much about it, but I know the homuncologist Juan. He been breaking down how Haiti. That's where the whole zombie idea in Hollywood movies comes from, Haiti, and now we're hearing about them cannibalizing and stuff.
Dude,
which is
the shit that they're showing over there is nuts. It's just nuts.
I'm very ignorant on it right now, but I got to look into it.
It's really gross. Something happened to Twitter where they're like, if we can't control it, we're going to flood it with the worst things you could possibly
Well, you
see.
know what that is. It's the whole thing about they always told us this in newspapers. We had a choice. We could either moderate, and by moderating the comments section, take responsibility for it. That means we have to kill anything that's questionable, or it's hands off legally, and you just have to let it all go. And then you're not responsible. There's two ways of being, but if you do a middle ground where you don't, then you're responsible for not catching all of the shit. Like if child stuff kind of gets through, or pornography or something, and you didn't catch it, then that's your liability. And I think that's probably they're just probably like, fuck it, dude. Just let it ride.
Yeah, I it's disgusting. I mean, I saw a guy getting stabbed. I'm like, why
I don't
is
want
this
it.
on
Yeah.
here?
I turned
It's
it
so
over to
gross.
dude only show me people that I'm following. I turned it over to that. I couldn't take it anymore.
Do you think there should be like a 18 and over rated R Twitter? Because I mean, that's what I get what you mean. It's sometimes it's too much. You're like, dude, I just want to come here for wholesome shit, laugh out loud. Some
Hold on, the
thoughts.
guy from Scum and Kickage is here for wholesome shit.
Tits are not that wholesome, but yes, that's what I want sometimes on Twitter.
In
Sometimes I don't
2024,
want.
tits are wholesome.
They
Tits
really are.
wholesome.
Yeah. They really are.
Did I just hear tits are wholesome? Or
Yeah.
I heard that if you gaze at tits, it like relaxes you or something.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of like when you hug someone for like 10 seconds that releases serotonin. I don't, that whole Twitter is purchased by Elon, who wears the New World Order,
The
t-shirt.
Baphomet stuff.
Baphomet. It's going to microchip everybody's brains. What? So he bought that because it's AI and data gathering, and Twitter can predict civil unrest quicker than the police can. I mean, think about all the information. You got Russell Brand putting out polls on people, and they're all putting their information into these polls. Where do you think that's going back to? This is all going back to this AI entity that is manipulating everybody. It's a narcissist psychopath entity that is putting certain things in your feed to make you mad, to make you sick. And maybe they're trying to get everybody accepting the blood and the gore and the violence on a real basis, because everybody like civilization discontents, Freud kind of stuff, where they know everybody hates themselves and they want to take that anger out like a purge. I wonder why the purge is so popular with all these soccer moms in LA. That's who you need to look out for, is the soccer moms on the highway. They're the ones driving crazy, So they got this this anger and self-hatred of society. Society hates themselves, their discomfort in their skin, living in society, which is very unnatural in a lot of senses. And so the AI, I think, is grouping everybody to get into tribes, right? So you got all these different imprints of religions, cultures, ethnicities, all going into their little tribes. Twitter AI is showing them how much everyone hates them, and everybody's becoming divided. It's a petri dish. Even this economic magazine, it's a petri dish. Everything has been studied by the AI during the lockdowns. So think about when the whole BLM thing was going on. Like my friend, he was scared to go outside because he's like, the police are going to kill me, right? Then the Asians were scared to go outside because everyone's like, oh, the Asians, the China virus. And now,
And black people.
Black people, or the Mexicans.
Black people were knocking out Asian grandmas. Let's not forget that. I mean, nobody wants to talk about that, but that was 100% happening.
So I think this is all intentional. The ICE camps, right? And Donald Trump built the wall ICE camps. That's scaring the Mexicans. And now the Jews are scared. The Muslims are scared. They're separating everybody. They want everyone to annihilate each other.
I completely and utterly agree with you. I've been saying this forever. They don't want you flying. That's why every single story, a wing fell off, a door opened mid-flight, a couple strippers got in a fist fight, someone groped a grandma. It's just always something. That
Did you post that thing about that Boeing factory where they went undercover and in South Carolina, and like half the people at the Boeing factory were like, I wouldn't fly in this fucking thing. Are you kidding me? This thing's gonna crash. Like undercover.
I saw, but and then the whistleblower comes up dead.
Yep.
No, and then
that guy is the guy who made that video is dead.
The whistleblower. What's
like
his name? He was 68 years old. He's dead now.
Well, yeah, he caught people at that Boeing warehouse admitting that they get high on their brakes and stuff like that, which happens at every factory.
But that's the guy that made the video?
That's what I'm trying to
that's
figure
what
out.
I'm
who
not
died, yeah.
sure. I don't know if he's the guy who did
But
the
I don't
video.
know. He was supposed to testify. Now he's dead. They Clintoned him.
The Clinton hit list is nuts.
Hey, Sam, you fly a lot. You're not a little concerned?
Oh well, I mean, I've decided I'm only flying Delta at this point, unless I can't get to where I got to go. I'm only like what's it called? JetBlue is dead. We've lost them. JetBlue's lost. It's gone. I mean, like, and they're trying to make it miserable on you. They're just like, if you go and watch the JetBlue movies that they give away for free, it is so bad how woke they are. They have the story of like an interracial gay couple fighting over their child. Who is watching that on their flight? Like, who makes it? Who's that movie meant for? Who invested all that money in that? It's just there to cause chaos. It's just there. I'm not saying that isn't a story that isn't important to some people, but is it enough people to warrant putting it on your in-flight entertainment?
What you said about having people not travel, that's a great breakdown. I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just this whole like people are lazy, don't want to work, and everything is just falling apart. But that having that intentionally so people don't travel, oh my goodness, that is absolutely what it is.
Well, if they want you in a 15-minute city, why would they want you flying?
Yeah, or getting culture, and going places, and seeing that people are people.
Or how about when you're
totally right on that line. Hold on. Actually, you're totally right on that. And we've talked about that on this show. When I went to Portland in the height of all the Antifa riots, I got there. I asked my friends, "Hey man, what are the riots like?" They're like, "We haven't seen one." I'm like, "What?" So we drove around and we found the smallest, tiniest Antifa riot, which was shot like it was Portland burning. So then Johnny goes over there and he's traveling, and it's like it's not what he thought it might be. Am I wrong on that, Johnny? There was like you were like, it's not that crazy. Was I wrong on that?
No, it's not. I mean, they're way farther down the road with the culture war thing than we are. I mean, you see it in every ad. I mean, it's way more in your face here than it is. I mean, it's like LA.
What do you mean by that?
Like, especially in the UK, just all gender stuff and every advertisement has some gender angle or some race thing. It's just really weird.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Everything. Yeah, everything. And like
AT&T's giving 20% to non-binary customers. Sign up now.
Like, and it's a small thing, but you hardly see. I mean, you see no black people in the streets, but they are a solid 30-40% of the people on TV. And it's just a strange thing. Yeah, I looked it up. There's actually a story about it in a couple of the Daily Mail and a couple other major newspapers. They are about a quarter of, they're 30% of the jobs in drama TV and 4% of the population in the country. I'm just talking about black people alone. So you can extrapolate that out to the other races, but they're just way farther down the road with that shit. They're kind of our future, I would imagine.
How long? How long you thinking to maybe LA? I mean, obviously not Texas, but how long to LA is like that?
I have no idea.
What do you mean by that? It's already like that.
No, he said it's worse, right, Johnny?
No. What he said, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you basically said was like a small population is everywhere on television.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're a black actor that can't work in Los Angeles, move to London.
That's right. Yeah. It surprised me. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not, it's just very much, it seems like it's been settled here, that issue of like, just, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like the BBC, because, it's government money, they get to decide how they spend it. And they've decided this is what did you see this thing in Ireland, right? Where Ireland had this big vote, a referendum, and the Irish government, the entire Irish government was behind it. And they were going to redefine what the family was in the Irish Constitution, because they have this kind of outdated language about how women, once they see to their duties at home, can go out and work. It's in their constitution. And they were like, we want to get rid of that and then add some language that redefines the family as whatever the hell, whatever you want it to be, basically. And it got, slaughtered in the referendum. And the quotes from the Irish government, they're all like, oh boy, we can't even believe, we thought that the people would really be behind us on this one. I mean, they're shocked. They're truly shocked. So you could tell that the government is way ahead of the people, and the government is what puts shit on TV in the UK. So I think that's what you see. What's going on here? Strange.
Well, again, if and Johnny, I would say that the government in the United States puts on what's on television based on these these networks losing money left and right, no matter how he tells us, losing money left and right, and then just getting bailed out by the Fed. It's the same thing.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's just less direct, but they have,
and less obvious. It's like it takes a show like this to get it. So I mean, it's crazy. Here we are. We're 35 minutes in. We haven't even talked about Dolphins. Are we getting into Dolphins? I don't want to hijack
Illuminati
your whole
Dolphins.
episode.
There's just so much crazy stuff. I'm all over the place with research. I like to follow my highest excitement. And last year was all about the Dolphins. It inspired me because I was reading a lot of Robert Anton Wilson a couple years ago, and that's sort of how I was able to add on to the Year of the Rabbit being alien disclosure year, which it was, right? You got the UNESCO aliens, which is straight connected. All this alien stuff is going to be connected to saving the environment. And the more I learn, I mean, even the back of this Economist magazine is a save the environment, and you got the whales. So John C. Lilly, he's an MK Ultra type figure no one really knows about, but Robert Anton Wilson talked about him a lot, and he got them dolphins on his cover, and and you start connecting the dots. It's sort of what people say, but they don't really get into it. But sometimes you'll hear them say something, you're like, oh, I know that's important what he just said, but you didn't go into it. I'm sure all y'all have noticed that when you're researching. And the dolphins experiments where they were masturbating the dolphins and giving them the schizogenics of LSD, which gives you like a schizophrenia
that's what stopped the study, right? When they found out, when this wasn't whoever was funding the study found out that they were jerking off the dolphins, and they stopped the study, right?
That's it could have been. I know Lilly stated in his book in the beginning, he says this information was to research the aliens, to communicate with them underneath the ocean, as most of the alien UFOs come out of the ocean. But the research he was doing with touching the dolphins and giving them the drugs, what Lilly was doing, he would go into a sleep deprivation tank like you see in Stranger Things, where Eleven goes underneath to enter the underworld or something. He was doing that, and he's like, oh, I can't be imprisoning these dolphins anymore. I gotta let them free. And he had the intention to end the experiment, and then the dolphins committed suicide by not eating anymore because they were so hooked on these drugs and jerk offs. So like, and dolphins are vicious. I don't know if you've seen them. They pretty vicious, but
I mean, dude, we've seen that. There's just videos of them getting in the woman's stuff. They just like, when they want it, they want it. They're like dudes from India. When they want it, they take it.
Oh shit. No. Yeah. They're known to they're known to like gang rape other dolphins because they're smart animals, and when you're smart, you become malicious and do stupid shit. And it's been known that they're the wildest animal out there.
That's from Scum and Buckets. Xavier Guerrero. Smart people are rapists. Rapists are smart. That's
wicked.
As we just heard from Scum and Buckets. Xavier Guerrero.
That's exactly how it was told to me.
They wicked smart dolphins, because the reason they were doing the study on them is because their brains are bigger than the human brain, but they are pretty much the exact same in size and weight. And I thought it was interesting that the Mars Attack alien brain looks just like the dolphin brain, because
I see asses everywhere. That's all I see.
Oh,
now. My brain just sees asses.
Too,
just fat asses.
And that kid goes into another rabbit hole right there with the anus. But remember this game Echo the Dolphin? Where
I don't
Yeah.
remember, but
Sega?
Johnny does.
I
He's
do.
in there,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
So this was inspired by this guy's research, John C. Lilly. So this video game on Sega, you're a dolphin killing extraterrestrials. And they wanted to have the dolphins, I believe, communicate with the whales. So the whales would be more intelligent. And they even were hypothesizing that the whales have a religion as their brains are bigger than the humans. And why don't whales attack humans as if they know the human can build a bomb and blow up the whale? That was interesting too, but I don't know where I was heading with that, but it goes into so many different rabbit holes with the Illuminati animals.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're running experiments on everything, right? I mean, they're just trying to figure out ways they can control everything at all times. I'm sure, you know, if they know that there's certain dog whistles that only dogs can hear. I'm sure there's vibrations and frequency that they can put out to make dogs go crazy and do crazy shit and all that stuff.
Did you read the Michael Aquino, the Satanist who created the Temple of Set? He was a military psychological operation. He wrote a paper and it goes into the elf waves and these frequencies. It's the fifth generation or fourth generation warfare of the laser beams. You know what I mean? Like the dews, Mountain Dew, that was a crazy thing. I was in Lahaina a month prior to that whole place burning down, and it was crazy. But there's something up with Mountain Dew and its priming. So in hypnosis, they prime people, predictive programming. They're priming people by showing us symbols of events to happen, like the 9/11 thing. We all seen that research of the towers collapsing. Mountain Dew is weird though, because we live in a different age now where there's not one television for everyone to tune into or radio show like H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
So they need to put this programming on your soda when you're drinking it.
You're so right. You're so right. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our friends at Babbel. Listen, the best way to learn a language, immersion, living where the language is spoken and using it every day. But if that's not in the cards for you this year, you could still learn a language the second best way, and that's with Babbel. Be a better you in 2024 with Babbel, science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and deliver with conversation-based teaching so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. Okay, I love it. I'm trying to learn Spanish. I'm taking it a little bit every day. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That's how I'm doing. Johnny, you're in France. Did you use Babbel?
Yeah, we did. We learned quite a few phrases in just a couple of weeks before we came over here. It was incredibly useful. It saved us actually coming over here. So, love Babbel.
I love Babbel too. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is the equivalent to a full semester at college. Babbel has over 16 million subscribers sold. Plus, all of Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee. Here's a special limited-time deal for our listeners. Right now, get 55% off your Babbel subscription. That's the double nickel. 55% off your Babbel subscription, but for only our listeners at Babbel.com/tinfoil. Let's get 55% off Babbel at Babbel.com/tinfoil. That's BABBEL.com/tinfoil. Rules and restrictions may apply. I've been talking about, like, you know, it's like if you're a conspiracy theorist, right? And you're like, I like sports. They're like, don't you realize it's bread and roses? And you're like, I don't even think we get that. I don't even think we get that anymore. They've infiltrated sports with all this imagery because nobody's watching, like you said earlier, nobody's watching any of their programming. So the only thing they know that people show up to watch in real time is sporting events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the sporting events are super ritualistic for fertility. So it's a big Ishtar fertility ritual to go into the springtime. That's why you got the sexy Usher V shape, getting all the Swifties all hot and bothered while they're doing their satanic things. Or you had Rihanna showing, I mean, Rihanna incited horniness on Twitter and she got her account banned for it because these are like some sort of sex icons. Elvis as well. He incited horniness with his hips. It's rock and roll, which means intercourse. And the Ishtar rituals is.
Whoa, did you guys ever know that rock and roll was humping?
That's the origin of the word rock and roll. It's on Google. You could trust Google.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I learned that from Jordan Maxwell.
God rest him soul. So crazy.
Everything is sex. Everything is sex. But Rihanna was pregnant. It's fertility rituals, and you go on the field in the ancient days and have an orgy, and it communicates with all the plants. And this is scientifically proven through Clive Baxter's studies. You can read it on The Secret Life of Plants. Just talking about sex around the plants will excite them. And yeah, it's wild. It's the Orgon energy that like William Reich was talking about before the U.S. government banned all of his books and killed him in jail. So there's a lot going on with energy frequencies. In the ancient days, they must have known this because they were doing these fertility rituals in a field, right? Like what a bigger field than a Super Bowl field where you got everyone watching it, charging it. And then you got these sexy artists doing whatever they're doing. And what was interesting is the weekend when everyone was locked down, it was all dudes and they look like sperm and they all collapse. And I'm like, this is a sex ritual, a sodomic sex ritual. And everyone was laughing, but like now there's enough evidence to show that these are ancient rituals. Oh, and
you were
too.
You were talking about it's very interesting. You brought up the direct energy weapons and like I'm really into everything is a form of magic. And I believe my heart and hearts, and I'm the only one yelling this, that all this new wave like warfare and technology is hardwired mysticism. So if we brought on a psychic, right, and we were like, okay, predict what the future, what's going to happen, blah blah, and they get it wrong, we're like, oh, you're not a psychic because you got it wrong. So within mysticism, to be able to make it happen consistently on a regular basis at the drop of a snap of a finger is the proof that we're looking for it to be real. I think they figured out a way through this technology to create mysticism that happen every single time. A frequency wave, direct energy wave, maybe even pharmaceutical drugs. But when we're talking direct energy weapons, I think that's just some Doctor Strange shit that they've hardwired and they can make it happen regularly, anytime, all the time, as soon as they hit a button. They're able to make it happen without fault. And that to me is like, that's where we're at. We're against sorcery, and these are sorcerers' tricks.
Well, and even Satan was called the Prince of Power of the Air. And I'm thinking of the airwaves in that most recent Ryan Garcia talking about Bohemian Grove and whatnot. there's this weird clip in it where he says, I'm with God, but it sounds like he's saying, I am God. And I feel like there's an AI entity manipulating even one little word to change things, to change the perspective on all of the celebrity followers and whatnot. So
I got some shit because on our live stream I was like, I'm going to see how this plays out because I know what he's saying is true in terms of it happens. But are we going to sit there and say that Ryan Garcia was at Bohemian Grove? But what makes me start to think is like that could be it. It is possible.
That he was there?
Well, because the reason it's hard for us to believe it is because we don't think that pro athletes are MK Ultra. We don't think about it like that. We think they are where they are based on how good they are. And that's a meritocracy, which to a point it is, of course. There are people that we go, why is that person in the league? You know?
Well, does he say how old he was when it happened? Because he could have been already a star when it happened. You know, that could be
no,
what
he
they
was
do.
like he was a kid, he said.
He was a kid, really? Oh,
yes, he said he was a kid.
It's so difficult to listen to, right? It's like, oh.
And he was forced to watch that stuff. But what we see Ryan Garcia going into right now is what we've seen that these children stars of Hollywood, who we know have been put through the meat grinder, end up just flaming out on becoming drug addicts, right? And we used to laugh and mock at it because we didn't really understand where it was coming from. We were like, oh, dude, another child star becoming a drug addict. Haha. Well, little did we know it was like them trying to cope with the trauma that they were put through because their parents were greedy fucks that allowed them to be taken away by these agents who just put them through the grinder. So there's part of me that goes that is a real possibility, but at the same time, you know, do we have, you know, I mean, people, I mean, like, look at LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James has been famous since he was 14 years old. You know, he's driving a Hummer, went back when that meant something in high school. You know, he's got the Boulay tattoo on his chest. Like they do that. They pick and choose these people too. They might just pick a whole bunch of them and then hope one hits.
I think it's weird how all the sports stuff is all coming into the simulation at once. And I think that's how the simulacrum works is like when Elon purchased the Bluebird Twitter, and Bluebird is also like MK Ultra stuff. But when he purchased that, Joe Biden was pooped on by a bird and they released the Birds Aren't Real 60 Minutes on the Illuminati founding day, May 1st. So I think that this is how I think is that they have to overwhelm the simulacrum with content because we're not just paying attention to just a radio show anymore. We got to see it on our sodas. And something with the UFC in Bohemian Grove is all over. So we got this big American eclipse happening on April 8th, the day that Crowley summoned Iowas. April 8th, that is happening. Right before that, you have the WWE brawl, which WWE is like huge right now. And you have this UFC guy talking. You got the most Googled man in the world, who's a boxer. You got the Jake Paul, who has the Illuminati tattoo on his chest, and Mike Tyson, who has the Illuminati eye tattoo on his eye, fighting. And so it seems like there's a lot of energy harnessing to the fighters. What I think it is that they're just preparing the youth to go into war, kind of like how my generation was programmed to go into Afghanistan through the violence in the music and the movies and the aggression and the angst. I feel like these plans are very long, usually 100 years, but now with the AI, it just, I feel like everybody's being guided in a direction to depopulate through bloodshed rituals of war.
That totally lines up with what I believe. You know, there was a scene in and I talk about this all the time. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but there was a scene in Leave the World Behind where the actor's talking to Julia Roberts about the thing that his super elite friend told him. And he goes, he's telling me all this stuff. And he goes, and the scariest part was that he told me that nobody's in charge, that nobody's running the show. And, obviously everyone talked about all the predictive programming in there. I don't think anyone, like, they were talking about some things, not other things. Like we've talked about this on the show before. Nobody talked about the Havana principle, the frequency, the kid losing his teeth. What they've been talking about 5G forever. They've been talking about 5G is going to be turned on and we're just going to see our bodies just start to cook, But that line to me is they were trying to tell us something. Do you have any clue what they meant by that and that's a weird question to ask out of nowhere, but
that was the most important line of the movie, that whole sentence, I believe, because it confirmed what I've been kind of talking about and a lot of other people, that the winter solstice rituals, he brought that up, that the elite, the global cabal do things on certain days. And Obama was the writer to that. Like, he had the other guy there who wrote it, but Obama came in and was like, you need to write this, you need to write this, you need to change that word. They every single thing in a film, writing, imagery is there on purpose. There's no mistakes. Even if they say Game of Thrones mistake putting a Starbucks cup in it, that was paid for by Starbucks. All this is for the programming. But that sentence that he said, no one's in control. My original thought when I heard that was that's what they want you to think, is like, oh, no one's in control, when really there is a control system. That's what my thought was when I first heard it. But at the end of the day, spiritually, I'm like, God's in control, and whatever happens, so that's where I'm at with it on that. But what do you think about that line?
I find it interesting. I feel like it was meant to hit a lot harder than a lot of people want to talk about. And is nobody in control? Are there just different groups trying to pull different things? Or do we have a Pindar, the albino lizard in Antarctica, and then the third? I mean, the stuff going on, Johnny, you were in England. Like, what is going on with this royal family? I mean, it's getting nuts. I tried to talk to my dad about it. Like, he has no clue what's going on. Like, I've told you guys before, like, I have a lot of friends who lost their parents. So they always say, like, if I could just I'd just do anything to have one more conversation with them. So, like, I try to talk to my dad every day, but he's 78. And, hey, Dad, how you doing? Good. What you get into? Nothing. That's the extent of the conversation of what he has to bring. So I have to figure out ways to have conversations with my dad. So I go through like conspiracy. I ask him all these questions about where he lives. And then I just go through the conspiracy Reddit to see if he's heard any of these stories. Right.
That's a podcast.
Yeah. I want to start recording it, just like conversations with my dad.
Yeah.
That would be a good title.
Yeah, I might do that. Just
but the royal family thing, it's funny. It was a huge story. I don't know if it made it over there, but like 2 days ago. Well, walking around Paris, we're in Paris now. We're going back to England tomorrow. I noticed that they have all of these like bus ads of like news, like TV news anchors and radio show hosts and TV stars, and every photo has a little note on it, and it must be something in the EU where they have to say this photo's been retouched. That's a big thing over here, that photos, like news photos and photos that you see in public, have been edited somehow digitally. I don't know if that's prepping the way for AI or what, but the big news with Kate Middleton was that she retouched a Mother's Day photo, because they just had Mother's Day this past weekend. She put out a photo of herself looking healthy with her kids, and people started noticing like things not lining up in the image. And she, of course, took the blame, saying that, she's an amateur Photoshop editor.
Did anyone believe that she herself did that?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, come on, no way. But whoever did it did a bad job. Whoever did it in such a way that they knew it would be seen. So that raises other questions.
But this goes along the lines of, King Charles, like, trying to step down. Like, he literally doesn't want to work. He like does.
Well, we heard that. We heard that before he ascended, that he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, so they were gonna put him, and now there's some stuff about how he, the son, not Prince Andrew. Which one's the bald one? Is it
William.
Prince Williams might have had a side chick, right?
Really? Oh,
And had
really?
a
I hadn't
kid
heard
with a
that.
side chick. That
Mm.
stuff's coming out now. So it's a lot of weirdness going on. And then we had those horses again. And everyone was like, those horses come out when something's going on there that is like super interesting. But, I don't know, man. It's interesting times with what's going on with that. I don't even know why we care about the Royals. They serve no purpose anymore, but we do really care. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Hey, Johnny, do they do the same thing with video by any chance? Because that was a little thing that I heard that Alicia Keys messed up one of the notes at the Super Bowl. And if you watch what YouTube posted, it's perfect. It's like they fixed the actual live performance to make it seem like she didn't fuck up.
No, 100% she fucked up.
Yeah, and that's changing. That's changing what we lived. And you're thinking like, oh, Alicia Keys killed it. No, that's not what happened at the Super Bowl. That's not what went down. And YouTube literally changed it, and you can hear her hit the note perfectly, which is not how it went down.
Stupid.
Yeah, that kind of goes with that whole Prince of Power of the Air. Like, is that a human going in and editing it, or could it even be like just the AI going in and putting different words and sayings into stuff, which kind of gets into, way out there.
Well, we like the way out there, dude.
Me too. I feel like you gotta be like Stretch Armstrong, because the farther you stretch, then you bring it back into reality, and then you move the pieces around. And you're like, oh, okay. Because the truth is stranger than fiction.
It's so crazy, and nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. It's so either you're balls deep into this stuff and you love it, or you just run from it like Dracula to a cross, because you just don't want to know you get mad that people know about it. You get angry. It's like it pisses people off because they just want to, enjoy life and cash checks. But I'm like, if anything that we're saying is true and we're hurling towards some crazy event, like everything that you care about is not going to be around anymore. I mean, like it's like the guys from Trigonomics were talking about how like the one guy was on an interview, the smaller Jewish guy. He was on an interview and he was like, how many people do you think in Russia were arrested for things they posted on the internet or Facebook, let's say? And the guy didn't know. He goes, 400 people. He goes, how many people in the United States, in the UK, how many people in the UK do you think got arrested for things they posted on the internet? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, 3,300. There's that number 33, of course. But like, we're in this, dude. Like we're in this kind of like battle for who's going to own information. And again, this TikTok thing is just like, this is the beginning of like, we want to believe that we have the First Amendment, we have all this, but they don't care anymore. I mean, those rules are there, but I don't think they give a shit anymore.
Yeah, and most people, it seems like they don't give a shit either. Like, it's crazy. It's just
crazy to me, right? It's just crazy. It's like, do you not see how let's just say, I guess, and maybe we're all guilty of it at some point, where like something legally happens to someone we don't like, right? And it really doesn't even make any sense, and it's not right. But because it's somebody we don't like, we kind of go, I don't care, But I just know that if you allow that to happen, that law will come back and hit you with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And they're just going to use it against you. And the people who are pro-choice found that out when they decided to throw out their beliefs in body autonomy when it came to vaccines. And now they have no leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Oh man, so there's something interesting. I was talking to I don't know if he was a doctor or something, but I don't know if anyone's broke this, but I got this slide up here. This is the code to the sickness over the last few years. And speaking of the 33, the code of the sickness that caused everyone to get locked down, um, it ends with 33 A's. So he was saying that's not like a natural thing because you could see like the code. I'm not a doctor, I don't understand this stuff, but it's like GCTGCA.
What
But
is
at
that?
the
That's a code for
this is
for
this is the sickness. This is the code of the
It must
sickness.
be the genetics
yeah.
of it, Sam.
Mhm.
The genes.
It's the gene of what locked down the world, and it
I
ends
keep
with
every time you say the sickness, I just think of Disturbed.
Me too, dude.
No,
That's
the
exactly.
sickness.
Me
let the
too, man.
bodies hit the flow. Let the
That's so
bodies hit
funny.
the flow. Yeah, I'm just saying it for the censors or whatever if this goes on.
Yeah, we
I
don't
got
go on
it.
YouTube. Yeah, we're good.
Well, we do. Somebody puts it on there, but we don't care.
Oh yeah.
We just
Well,
keep-
F that guy. Good luck, buddy.
good luck there.
But it ends, the genetics ends with the 33 A's. So I mean that's weird. Like
That is so weird. So you were getting into who do you think is the real creator of the Illuminati?
so yeah, the real creator of the Illuminati is Philo. Philo, the second in command of the Illuminati. Not many people know about him. His mission was pretty much like make Freemasons great again. That was his whole thing. He was very upset with the lodges and the passion that people had, so he wanted to recharge that. And Adam Weishaupt, who created the Illuminati, got all the credit but didn't do any of the work. He came up with this idea and manipulated Philo, his name was Carnegie, to create the Illuminati by recruiting people in the strict observance lodge of Freemasonry. And this is how the Illuminati infiltrated the Freemasons. And I just find it such a fascinating story. This book is fabulous, and they go by these different code names: Philo, Adam Weishaupt is Spartacus. And he just came up with this idea and he's like, yo, it's built. And he manipulated him. So he recruited all of his friends and they built this, and then they were causing havoc, and Philo wasn't pleased with it. And so he said, I'm done with this Illuminati stuff. And then he wrote Philo's reply about how he is just doesn't like where it ended up. But
that sounds like the beginning of combat content that we see on YouTube where podcasts go at each other.
Oh yeah. But the thing about the Illuminati, because it's very mainstream and it's been mainstream forever. And shout out to Paranoid American, who I know you work with the Chaos Twins. He showed me some cool info of how Illuminati is more American than apple pie. Like this comes from 1924. The newspapers were talking about the Illuminati. And Beethoven, he was taught how to play piano by a key Illuminati figure. So when we talk about celebrities doing humiliation rituals in the music industry, this is going back for a long time because Adam Weishaupt wanted to bribe the youth who were these artists. And you can't bribe the youth to save the world because they don't care about the world, even though they might say, I care about the climate and whatever. They don't give a shit about the climate. They care about virtual signaling, which is a high, they've done studies that is a high signal of psychopathy. But they wanted to manipulate the youth and the artists and the writers through power. So they would get power to join the Illuminati. So when we see this today with Travis Scott's, Kanye's, or whoever, Kid Rock's, whoever, it's easy to manipulate with power. So that's what they promise the celebrities. But that's Philo. And I kind of go all over the place. That's why I'm a good video editor. I edit the videos, so I go all over the place.
I know I like it because like there is the belief, there is the origin, let's say, story, and then there's what really happens, and it's always deeper and deeper and deeper. And what we're taught really isn't totally the answer. For some reason, they want Weishaupt to be the guy who created it when it's really Philo. Which, by the way, I love that name, Philo. So it's interesting to me, and what are your what are your thoughts on Freemasons? I see like all these religions, I don't care what it is, whether it's an Abrahamic religion or these secrets, and not maybe not secret societies. I should retract that, but like how secret are the Freemasons when pretty much anybody can join? You just walk up, hey, I want to be a Freemason, and then you just go through this whole test. The next thing you know, you make it to a certain level or you don't. Um,
Well, Freemasons, they built America, right? You got all these Freemasons that are coming from the British Empire, and then they come here. I believe the Freemasons, where you got all the lodges all over America, and you got friends and family members part of these. I don't think that's nothing, right? That's just anybody can join kind of thing. But the powerful lodges are very, very small, and I don't know which lodge that is, but there is a power dynamic to it, but it's a very small group, and I believe it's connected to the British Empire. People have written books on it or whatever. Even Rihanna, for example, she's the ambassador for Barbados. You know, that's why Trump said he was going to go to economic war if they didn't release him out of wherever he was arrested, which leads to real economic wars lead to world wars. So you're gonna go to world war for a rapper? Like that makes no sense until you realize, oh no, they're not rappers, they're ambassadors to countries. And Barbados, the oldest establishment there is Freemasonry. You see the Haiti guy has the Freemason logo. So you can just see that there is a true power behind the lodges, but it goes back even further to the Knights Templars. Even the Masons will say this and claim it, and the Templars goes back even further. These bloodlines and secret societies go back thousands and thousands and thousands of years to the Hammurabi Code. So they give us establishments and scapegoats for us to look at and get angry.
I agree with that. They give you scapegoats.
And there is something about Freemasonry specifically, though, that they do like to keep it in your face. Like there's a massive museum of Freemasonry right here in Paris. It's called the Museum of Freemasonry, and you go in there and they have all these ancient artifacts from Freemasons. Like I was just looking here, they have Voltaire's Masonic apron from 1778. They have Lafayette's Masonic sword, a first edition of James Anderson's Constitutions of Freemasons, porcelain figures dating from 1740, all kinds. I mean, just all these crazy things. And it was the time it actually got sacked by the Nazis. The Nazis took the thing out.
Oh shit!
And then it got back going again in
You got the Freemasons?
The Freemason Museum. They just wrecked the thing. And then it came back in the 70s, it looks like. But yeah, I wish I had time to go in. That would have been kind of cool. But we were kind of on our way somewhere else. But yeah, huge ass museum. And who's paying for that? Who's paying for a museum
The
of
Freemasons?
Obviously, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's huge, and it's in one of the most expensive areas in Paris. So it's a massive expense that somebody's paying.
Have you seen that pyramid right there
At the Louvre? Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. We were there today. Yeah.
And then you got the rose line all through it, which like,
is interesting. You bring that up because we had a tour guide, and the tour guide mentioned that pyramid. Think about this now. Paris, this old city with these proud people. They had a Chinese architect come in '89, celebrating the 200th years since the Bastille, and designed this modern pyramid to go on top of this thing, which didn't fit any of the style of anything around it. Apparently, everybody hated it at the time in the '80s when they put it up. It does suggest what you're saying there. Maybe the power of the Masons to get that kind of imagery on top of the Louvre, the world's largest museum.
I just finished this book by Joseph P. Farrell, The Demon and the Ecker, and you got this pyramid, and it goes into the two hypotheses: is plasma life form, intelligent life form, not all plasmas, but certain plasmas, and also of the pyramid being a bioacoustic weapon. And it's so interesting because I raised going to temple Jewish, so I'm always told that the Jews built the pyramids. And I'm like, how the heck did we build the pyramids? Like, you can't even get us to like do any physical labor, you know, like that doesn't make any sense. And then reading this book, he was showing how it was a smooth-sided pyramid, and in Mesopotamia, they had depictions of the smooth-sided pyramid, and so the whole story, which is very far from Egypt, so the whole story seems to be just crazy that we all get imprinted with too. But this book was crazy going over the pyramid. Like, why is there a pyramid on the dollar bill? You know, there that symbolism.
But even when you get into like the low hanging fruit, right? You know, of oh, it's this group, it's that group. Even within those groups, you see secret society symbolism, right? So it's like the Zionists, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Marxists, all these effing the neocons, the neoliberals, all these groups, they just all show you they have these moments where they show you like there's a higher pecking order than just them.
Yeah.
And that's why I think everything is a sorcerer's trick. Everything. I mean, everything. You know, it's like when you're talking about this Haiti thing, it's like, how much of that is fucking real and how much of that is them just, again, not wanting us to leave our houses? Don't go outside. It's chaos, right? It's, dude, you're going to die and get raped if you go run for coffee, right? Stay home. Order it. Don't leave your house. Like,
I just went to Mexico and it was so fun.
Their dream is what we went through during COVID. Lockdowns, eating like shit, only consuming shit, not talking to anyone we love, fighting with our relatives, not coming together. That is their goal. From everything is trying to lead us back to that on a permanent basis.
Right. And it's all going into imprinting. So there's this book, Prometheus Rising, which going back to the John C. Lilly. John C. Lilly, the Dolphin Illuminati guy, wrote a book called Meta Programming and Meta Biocomputer. Just the human is a computer, and it's a hard to read book. But Timothy Leary rewrote it with his 9-layer of consciousness or something. And this guy rewrote it simpler with 4 methods of imprinting. So imprinting, you'll hear in like people who get an owl and become its mother, and the owl thinks it's the mother. Or even they've done studies with giraffes where right when it was born, it saw a Jeep. It eventually tried to bang the Jeep because it thought it was part of its species. So this is imprinting. So wherever we're born in a religion or a culture or ethnicity, I'm born in America, so I'm like America, you know, like because I'm from America. But if I was born somewhere else, I'd be like Canada or you know wherever you're born, you're imprinted, and that's different than brainwashing. So you can't get rid of the imprinting; it's going to always be there. So when somebody's like attacking your culture, ethnicity, or whatever, you're not going to be able to get rid of that. So I think it's pointless to like go at. I think not that it's pointless to go at certain groups, but I think that the camouflage of certain groups. So you got, like you brought up, every religious establishment, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, all the establishments, the Abrahamic religions, you can see that there's a shadow government behind all of them. That they move around to whatever one they want throughout history, and just get everybody pretty much to kill each other, right? That's the goal, the bloodshed rituals. It's nuts, but the imprinting I think is so important. And what's happening is they want everybody on hallucinogen schizogenics right now. That's why they're promoting this so heavily, because you're going to be on your phone and they're going to say aliens are real. They're doing that right now. They're giving us, we're living through Project Bluebeam. It's not how we thought it would be with holograms. We're living through it. They're disclosing UFOs, Blink 182 and all that. People are tripping out on acid, and AI is telling them that there's aliens here. that's resetting the autonomic nervous system. And that was the whole John C. Lilly dolphin research that went to the hippie movement and whatnot. That's the only way to get rid of the imprinting, because it's always there because it's different than brainwashing. That's probably too much info, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
know
I mean, like, again, we talk about this on past shows, but when you take a look at what they were doing in San Francisco and Haight-Ashbury, they were just flooding that area with crystal meth and psychedelics. And now you look at everybody in Silicon Valley is microdosing and doing Adderall. I mean, it's just what is that combination must make you very controllable. Like, as much as you think like, oh, I'm opening my mind, or are you just opening your mind to their suggestions? That's what I think's going on. And and I know you want to get into some meme magic. I just find like these memes are so powerful, and it's like they get so angry at memes, and I'm like, well, because one, I don't think AI can read memes, right? Like, it can't read cursive and it can't read memes. And it's so funny because when you're not on the side of logic, you can't meme. Like what we saw earlier on when memes first started popping up was during, the internet just was new. We had George Bush in office, George Bush Jr., the Iraq war, all that shit. And they were trying to do memes and they just failed miserably because they weren't on the side of logic. And now here we are 20 years later, the pendulum is swinging to the other side, where now it's like the progressive, socialist, communist, Marxist left, and they can't meme now because they're all retards.
Yeah, they are retards. And the meme magic is so powerful, and it goes back to the shamans. So this is ancient stuff. And then you got people like Terrence McKenna and Timothy Leary talking about memes and how they're coming. It is meme warfare. Whoever's in power rises the power through memes. You got Donald Trump. He became famous through the memes and whatnot. He's a meme, right? Elon Musk.
Illuminati game.
Illuminati gang. And Elon Musk rose to power through memes, but even the HR bill, when the world was locked down, the first thing that it wanted to pass was the CBDCs, the digital currency. Mm-hmm. Well, that's weird. The whole world's going through this crazy thing and you want to introduce the CBDC? Well, what introduced the world to blockchain technology is truthers have been in the blockchain field forever with Bitcoin and whatnot. We understand how this technology works, but the masses don't know what it is. So how are you going to get the masses into the second layer of the internet? Well, Dogecoin, that's a meme coin, right?
Oh, man.
So the memes are so powerful to bring ideas, because
what's your definition of a meme?
It's the most simplified. It's not an idea. It's more simpler than an idea, because an idea takes thought. So like you got a book where it's all this writing and research, or you got an image like a prom picture. A prom picture means a lot. It's an idea of going to prom. And a meme is even more simple. I mean, no thought at all. It's just there. That's my idea of a meme. But this is where it gets into that whole magic stuff, is that the shamans, they would find a rock or something, and that's what it would mean something. So I think it's weird how you have a Q shaman or a shaman at Davos blowing people. I just think that's kind of weird because it goes back a long time where we're at today with just memes. I don't know if I explained anything. I'm just
talking. No, but they're like super powerful, and it's like they say something without actually having to say it. And it's like, it's a very powerful thing when you can get people to say it for themselves instead of you. It's like, It's like why I love Shane Gillis's comedy. It's like you watch him. Sometimes he doesn't even say the punchline. You say it for yourself and you start laughing. Like it's very powerful. And I think that's what memes are. They're just a brilliant way to deliver an idea in which the person looking at the meme comes to that conclusion themselves.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about comedy, and shout out to you because the whole comedy is so important and it's so masculine and it's so rare. And Cat Williams even said that there's not many comedians to Joe Rogan. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, damn, that is some truth right there that I never even thought of. There's no comedians out there. It's such a small group of people because to be a comedian, you have to be masculine. And I'm not talking like man, woman, even though it kind of goes into that too. But you have to be able to step back from the world and look at it, which is a masculine quality. And not a lot of people can do that because everybody's just in the world being manipulated. So shout out to you.
Thank you, bro. Finally, somebody realizes how powerful I am. But I think meme magic's very good. I think it's an important thing. It's part of the war, and I brought this up in past episodes. Sorry, that seems to be a theme with every time I talk. But, there was the Boys episode, season 1. I think her name is Stormfront. And she was talking, Homelander walks in, which is still a very interesting name for a character. Homelander walks in and he's like, what you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just putting out some memes. And she kind of talks about how like her organization puts out all the memes that, that kind of spread across the internet. And that just is predictive programming to me, because how many times has an event happen and instantly there's just a murder meme, just a meme that just totally hits it. And you're like, how do you move that quick? Oh, because the people who are behind the event know the event's coming. They're creating memes to form your opinion on the event that just happened.
Oh,
I kind of agree with you where it could be people, but you also don't think it could just be AI making the memes. Because there's just so many of them sometimes where I'm like,
well,
bro,
it doesn't
like,
matter because AI is working with the people who are creating the situation, right? I mean,
yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter if it's AI or if it's a group
But I thought we
of
said the
100
memes,
people.
the AI could not do memes. Is that not what the idea is?
I thought it was something they couldn't read memes or something like that. That's why memes are super powerful.
yeah, memes, like you said, the meme war memes, like it's all about memes. And the left is not funny because they're so feminine. And and I seriously think energetically, like, because I used to read David Deida, The Way of the Superior Man, back in like 2012 when I was trying to find a girlfriend or something. But he was going into the masculine, feminine polarities. And I see there's total truth to this because you got the left, which is very feminine because they're so emotional and screaming and they're like Mother Nature, they're like the wind. And the masculine energy, which is more of a rock, you can't push me over, more of, I would even say more of like Trump, right? He's very masculine. He can't knock him over. Everyone will scream at him. I've read all of his books, The Art of the Comeback. They yell at him and he doesn't even respond. And then the next day after they're emotionally hungover, he'll come in and diss them like real quickly, and it's hilarious. But he's masculine, they're feminine. So when they're saying F Donald Trump, the left actually literally wants to have sex with Donald Trump, in my opinion, through the polarities. It sounds weird, but that's what I believe. I believe that the left wants where they say F Donald Trump, they really want that. And also it could go further right too, where they say F Joe Biden or let's go Brandon. They want to have sex with Joe Biden too, because it's that polarity of masculine and feminine coming together to create life.
It's super interesting, dude. It's super interesting. I find it all crazy. So, we'll end on this. I wanted to over the weekend, the Oscars, everybody's calling the, John Cena thing a humiliation ritual. And, I grew up on, a naked person being funny, like, Jackass and all that stuff. And then I look at John Cena, who's fucking shredded. And I'm like, I don't know what's humiliating about that, because if I was that shredded, I would be walking around with a dick in a box on my fucking junk every day, and that's how I would go to work.
I said the same thing to my friend. I said, "How is that a humiliation ritual? Like, how is that humiliated with that body?"
and this is, and then you got dumbasses going, "Oh, dude, it's a bodysuit." It's like, no, dude, he was a pro wrestler. He's always been jacked.
That guy is
now
always
now he's just more jacked because he's doing movies. And I just like, I get, there are humiliation rituals. We know that, but you really bloody the water and make it murky. You muddy the water, not bloody the water. You muddy the water. Okay.
For sure. So I'm sorry.
No, go on.
Everybody, you got the mainstream news, you got these big podcasts, that are more mainstream than anything, saying these words, humiliation ritual, which was only a underground word term to use. It was a ritual, but it wasn't a humiliation ritual. This ritual goes back to some Mithraic mysteries. The Mithraic mystery rituals, where we get the Skull and Bones logo. You would get naked, and then Mithra was born out of a rock, right? And so he was naked and he shook the rock's hand. I haven't deep dived on it, but it sounds like it's a Mithraic ritual that went down.
And he's also known to have beef with the Rock. So that was another thing. Another part of the humiliation ritual supposedly was that he was supposed to shake the Rock's hand while he was naked. I don't even know if that's another part of the theory that went out there, that he was meant to shake the Rock's hand like that, as in like if you're beefing with someone, you don't want to shake their hand while they're naked, type of thing. But yeah, he did shake his hand at the end, all the way in the back.
Why were they beefing? Because they're both
WWE stuff, where I'm the best, you're the best, type of thing. And I mean, old school. Maybe they resolved it. I really don't know. I just looked into it, where he's right. The Rock got brought up on how being part of the humiliation and making him shake his hand while he was naked after this beef was going on between you two. Might be just reaching, but
no, not at all. I think it's like a connection to it all. With humiliation, like Kid Cudi, he had to wear a dress, and then he got awarded with performing at the Loud concert or whatever. But yeah,
it's super interesting, dude. I mean, that's a great way, obviously, with the whole thing with, when you study what they did with the Buffalo Bills player and the heart attack on the field, and then he's back. And it's all these attempts to convince people that conspiracy theorists are crazy overreactors. And it's just and there's people who just so badly don't want to believe in conspiracies. They just want to go to work, come home, turn on the news, get their hour of propaganda, and then go on with their life, because that's simpler. And if something crazy happens, you deal with it when that happens, instead of trying to actually come together and stop it. Boom. Now I'd rather just not have to pay attention to everything. So they give them all these little things for them to be able to go, oh, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Fuck these people.
When you say that, shouldn't we, like me, you people are a little bit conspiracy theorists? Shouldn't we be happy for predictive programming? Because at least we're catching it. At least thank you for letting us know. At least I got some gold. I got some water. I'm kind of ready. Thank you for the cyber attack that this movie shot at us. Because don't you feel a little bit better that there's a little bit, if we can catch it, thank the Lord. If not, then
yeah. I mean, I'm over giving a shit if people want to get in conspiracies or not. I only get mad when they when the dum-dums try to inflict their stupid on us. this small group of people are trying to bring back masks in California schools. That's when I have a problem. Your stupidity is becoming dangerous. Like, you can be the dumbest fuck you want to be. Like, you want to walk around society with a hazmat suit on, have a great time. I don't care. But when you start trying to pass legislation so we all have to participate in your stupid, that's when I have a problem. Okay? You just like so we are going back into sports, and so I'm a Los Angeles. We'll end on this. I'm a Los Angeles Clipper fan. Our coach, I think, is shady as shit. There's something about him that makes no sense to me. And the biggest thing I noticed was the other day is we had a big loss, and he was wearing a mask indoors at the Staples Center coaching a game. Now, this is a guy that's thrown 2 games so far, in my humble opinion, against LeBron James. And, now there's whole stuff with LeBron James going on with him PEDs and coming out about that. I think they're trying to push him out of the league. I think you could see this could be his last season with this big roar. They're showing videos of white women touching him all over the place. They're showing videos of him, that all this stuff about him being on steroids. It sounds like to me like they want him out, and this is in a weird way a humiliation ritual with him now, that they're outing all of his secrets, that like all this stuff, oh my God, he's the greatest player for, he's playing like he's 20 when he's 39. Oh, because he's on roids. And conspiracy theorists have known this forever. But again, I just think that like, dude, everything is manipulated by these fucking intelligence agencies and these secret societies at the highest levels. That's why I think, dude. Hey, is there anything we missed?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's like seriously good and evil. It feels like.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I feel like, dude, we're in a battle. It's God versus fallen angels. That's my humble opinion. That's really what I believe in. God versus fucking fallen angels, dude. And so, hey, DoeNut, tell them one more time where they can find you.
You can find me at DOE-NUT.com or just look up DoeNut. Oh, that's my Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon.
Shout out, look at your Patreon's crushing, dude.
Nice, yeah.
You're crushing.
Thank you.
Bro,
I mean,
you're killing it.
like I said in the beginning, it's the focus of energy. I've been demonetized and removed off of TikTok multiple times. Vimeo, removed from there. Facebook, 500,000 subs removed, demonetized, shadow banned, build a new one up. YouTube, I'm not monetized, never been monetized. So it forced me to just focus on Patreon because it's the only way I can feed my cat. So that's what I focus on.
Dude, you're crushing it, dude. I'm so happy for you. That's great. That's great. That's great that Patreon lets you dance still.
Well, I title things differently. I'm very smart when it comes to the titling and all of that. So like I never write Illuminati. I'll write it differently. My old mentor taught me to be smarter than the machine. And I'm really not that smarter than the machine, but I've been learning. So, any day they could take me down from there, but whatever.
Yep. We're living in crazy times.
So nihilistic. Whatever.
I love you, buddy. We love you on the show. I hope you had a great time. We had a great time. I always love when we can get into these current events. So thank you for doing it. And yeah, man, we're going to break down this episode right now. What do you guys think of the episode, guys? I thought it was great. What do you think?
The name alone, I was excited. DoeNut. How'd you say it, Sam?
DoeNut. Boy, he's crushing it on. Good for him. Thank you for crushing it on Patreon. Thank you for Patreon letting DoeNut kill it. I mean, dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're going to see what happens. I got to make a couple calls. But anyways, what do you guys think? I thought it was great. I hope sometimes people come on to talk about one thing and then we end up going other ways. I hope that was fine. I enjoyed it.
No, I'm cool with it, but I still wanted to I wanted that connection between aliens and dolphins. think there was still something there. If you get what I mean, maybe I didn't get it, but I want to know how aliens and dolphins are meshing with each other under the waters.
Okay. So we didn't get into that. So that you're upset about that.
Well, I think there's more into that. I'm gonna go deep down that rabbit hole. Is what I meant. Like I've just said. I was
Well,
like,
you know,
holy shit.
there's a lot of people think there's some stuff going on at the bottom of the ocean. Did I not get into that? I feel like if you guys got to ask questions if you got questions. Even though sometimes your questions drive me
It's
nuts.
just I'm super interested in that.
Those questions.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just super interested in more dolphin shit because I didn't see. I could see how there could be a connection. How they're interested. I mean, there's smart animals. If there's any, I mean, I could see how they maybe are.
He likes dolphins. What do you want?
Yeah.
The guy likes dolphins, Sam.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just like, I forget what show you like. I wanted to know more. I'm like, you got to ask the question.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about. We skipped over the guy's dad curing cancer, and that killed both of us. That's one where I was. Yeah, we both dropped the ball on that. Everyone dropped the ball on that. But
yeah, you guys really fucked that one up, huh?
I mean, like, you guys can ask questions too.
Dude, I'm just messing with you. I thought that was a great episode. Covered plenty of stuff. One thing I thought was interesting, and I've been hesitant to kind of fully buy into this idea of like hidden symbols in media and stuff, but there was something in this tour of the Louvre today. And if you consider that these societies that purportedly run things, according to us, are ancient in origin. It's clear at the Louvre today, the tour guide was talking about how all of these images have, like, to me, they just, that's it's a beautiful painting. I get like, hey, that's supposed to be John the Baptist. That's supposed to be a little baby Jesus. But they're like hidden stories in these images that everybody back then would have known, because all they had were like everybody knew these same few texts, like the Bible and a few other things, and they would have, any imagery that like was evocative of that would have been like, oh, we got it. Like there's this one painting called Virgin of the Rocks, right? And I think Da Vinci Code is a Da Vinci painting. And I think Da Vinci Code has some theories about it. But according to our tour guide today, who's, he's a guy who studied at the Louvre University, so I assume he would know.
They go to school for the Louvre?
There's a university there, yeah. He's like got a master's degree in history. If you look, there is an angel sitting beside the Virgin Mary, and the Virgin Mary is introducing John the Baptist to little baby Jesus. They're both babies, because the idea is perhaps they were both fleeing Herod at the same time, and they might have had cause to meet. And you can see the angel has got, back then the thing for beheaded was this, we like you just sliced across the neck. And if you line up her finger, the angel, the way she's pointing, with John the Baptist, which Mary's got her hand behind, kind of pushing him into the scene, it's just like right across his head like that.
What?
And it's apparently because Da Vinci wasn't getting paid on time by this church that commissioned it, or the government or whatever. And as a kind of a protest, he like put these little images in there, to piss them off. And they made him redo it. There's another painting that's in England right now that doesn't have the finger like that, but this one does. And apparently just everybody back then would have known and been like, it was like scandalous. They were like, what the fuck is Da Vinci up to with this shit?
But wait up, that was the punk rock of that day?
Yeah, totally. And like Washington crossing the Delaware, that famous American painting of George Washington in this heroic pose. Apparently that's evocative of the winged victory, which we saw today, which is this ancient Greek thing. And they wanted to evoke Greece because Greece was the heart of democracy, and we know for other reasons, the founding fathers wanted they wanted to have images, Greek images in their art, and that's why the Capitol looks the way it does, if you believe that version of history. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it in that context, and that the traditions from that era have possibly descended through these secret organizations, then it makes a lot of sense that they are relying on images and memes, but also in media and stuff that we just, not being educated about those things, don't catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like subliminal messages. So it's not like a subliminal message.
Well, it
Johnny?
could be. It could be.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it could be that we
subliminal
do.
messages in an audio and video. So I mean, but within the painting, yeah.
It could
Those
be
were
that
the
our
original
sub,
memes,
yeah,
right?
well, it could be that our subconscious, even though we don't actively recognize these messages, that our subconscious does somehow. I don't know, and that would make it subliminal messaging, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Johnny,
something
on
that
your
hit me today.
On your trip, what has been the reaction to you being American? Anything? Would it
There are so many fucking Americans here, dude. It's just as many Americans as anything else. So it's, I mean, I walked a good 5 minutes today with these 3 girls behind me leaving the Louvre, like, oh my God, what are you just bragging that you can read? I would never come. Some guy they were with, I guess, drugged them there, and he was like, oh yeah, cool brag, bro. Kind of weird, but yeah, I guess you can read. Big deal. I mean, just the grossest. Like the attractive women, of course, but just the grossest mentality.
So retarded.
Yeah, dude, just complaining, bitching about being in this museum that has more art and just the most impressive shit.
Probably the most famous museum in the world.
Yeah, and dude, the stuff. I mean, the Greek stuff, the statues and stuff, like the out of marble. It was the most impressive to me because it's fucking big, bro. All these things are big, man. You don't think you see them in pictures, and you're like, oh, what's that? Sit on your table. They're fucking huge, man. So yeah, it would knock me out, but
like Kobe Bryant statue in front of the
yeah. You mean
who
was it? It looks more like than Kobe. What? Somebody had it was some other Lakers guy that it actually looks like that they were thinking that I can't remember.
That'd be hilarious if that was done on purpose because they knew Kobe hated him. They made so many mistakes on that statue, they had to redo it.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're redoing the statue.
Stupid.
Yeah, what is it? LA Times said it's a perfect portrayal of oh no, I can't find it. Anyway, there was some guy that it looks just like that used to play for the Lakers way more than Kobe, and I can't find it. But anyway,
Eddie Johnson? Eddie
maybe
Jones?
maybe I don't know my Lakers history, I'm up. Oh, Andre Ingram maybe is who they were talking about. I think that could have been
Andre Ingram, really? That's so hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was it. But yeah, dude, it's yeah, it is Andre Ingram.
What it really looked like? You remember that guy that played 10 years in the D League and got like one game in the main?
Yeah.
That's who it really looks like.
Yeah.
That'd be so hilarious if they gave that guy, because they're giving Kobe like 5 statues. Like seems like overkill to me, but they're giving him like 3 statues or something like that. What if they gave one to the guy who just never gave up on his dream and somehow made to Lakers for one game?
Do it. I would love that. But yeah, dude, it's the culture war, man. The front is just way farther. They've advanced way farther in that than we have back home here. It's obvious.
You think the memes are gonna get better?
Obviously, the memes are gonna get better. What do you think? I don't know. The memes are gonna get better. What do you mean by that?
Get better. They're crushing it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that it's cool that feels like something that our side has is memes. Like we got that, you know what I mean, on them. Like we're good at that. They're trying to get like Sam was saying, they're trying to manufacture them and get ahead of them. But our side is the best at the memes, coming out with them quickly. And
this might sound like, I mean, the answer is probably yeah, but do you really think like Biden has like an office of people working on like Trump memes ready for the election type of thing? Like that's what I picture.
It's probably like at some PAC or something, not directly that can be attributed to him, but there is definitely some PAC out there that's working on that shit. Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy to imagine. Hey, can we get a couple more Trump memes? And then
because with the government, it's all about deniability, right? You have to be able. You can't. You got to be able to have a few kind of levels.
Yeah, they're called government cutouts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do.
Cutouts, right?
They get other companies to do it, so they have plausible deniability.
That's totally it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, that was a great discussion. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great. I love him. DoeNut on. He's nice enough to step up. We had a guest cancel, so he's here, and it was great, and I loved it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Please enjoy real quick. Let's go to the website. I'm gonna be adding new. So yeah, go to events real quick. Flagstaff again. I'm gonna be in Flagstaff this weekend. followed by Tucson, followed by El Paso. Then Summerfield's looking like a bunch of savages are showing up. It's going to be a weekend of all your favorite podcasters. Then Plano. I'm also going to be in, where am I going to be? I'm going to be at Mines in Austin. We'll see how that works out. And then I'm going to be in Aurora. So we'll get that going with Eddie Bravo. Then guys, again, I got to take that down. Guys, just so you know, on the 30th, I'm going to be in Somerville. I'm going to be signing all of the Chaos Twins. If you bring it to the show, I'll sign it for you. We got my dates there. Premium content. A lot of things are going to be getting very interesting with premium content. Trust me on that. It's going to be getting very, 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 very interesting in the next month or so. But you can go to Rockfin right now. $15, you get everybody's stuff. Then you got Cash Daddies. Dude, it's crushing it right now.
Ooh, green.
Dude, a lot of digital currencies on fire. T-shirts, new T-shirts all the time. Cameos. I promise I'll get back to that. We're about to go into really great partnership with Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. That is starting in April. We need you to get in on it because hyperinflation's coming. Let's get that money. Let's get that gold. Let's hold on to it. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Hyperinflation, dude. It's there. It's a great way when the banks collapse to keep your money so you don't go, hey, I can't get my money out of the bank. Oh, I have a bunch of gold and silver at home. I can now still function. And that's what we're doing. I'm going to go get my Wise Wolf package just right after the show. Rife Technologies, everybody. He killed it on show. We're going to have it back. It's a great way to get centered, get your juju rocking. You get a discount if you use tinfoil hat on there. One word, get it going. And then, of course, our friend at Hydrogen Brown Gas, grab that. Chemical-free body. I literally took my supplements right before the show. I do it every time. I should do it on the show. Just show you that I'm not bullshitting. I love his supplements. They are my favorite supplements. I take them every day. Every day. My favorite is Alpha Energy. I take that. Makes me feel alive, dude. Makes me feel alive. Then, and then, of course, my man, Joel Staley, he says people are hitting him up all the times, bang, bang, pow, to get workouts. And I'm going to go to the gym tonight, bang it out. There we go. Anything else, guys?
That's it. Go to the Scum and Kick It and subscribe.
New
Johnny.
Broken Sam is here. Funny time we had. Check that out. Please subscribe to that wherever you listen to podcasts.
Okay, guys, enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. 30 Harvard students did a 12-hour hunger strike, which I thought that was hilarious. That's the headline of that is enough. That's just called not eating between dinner and breakfast.
Like, what is that?
12-hour hunger strike.
That's like when I ran away from home for 2 hours when I was a kid. Like, I'm running away.
I'm going to show them.
Yeah, and I found this place. After 2 hours, I just went home.
That's so funny. So you sent me this guy who's suing because and this is crazy. This guy had the winning Powerball number. He checked the website. It said he won $340 million. And then he showed up there. And what it turns out is they were testing the Powerball website and put up some test numbers accidentally. They weren't supposed to go public. And the test numbers just happened to match this guy's thing. And so when he goes up to show them the ticket, they're like, oh, dude, you should just throw that away. That's worthless. Throw it. They really wanted him to throw it away before he left the building so he wouldn't have it, legally. And he's suing them now, but because they put it on the website. They said his numbers won the lottery.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to follow that litigation to see what happens.
Dude, I would fight this tooth and nail.
Oh, you have
and
to,
you
right?
get, dude, hey, at the end of this is a percentage of this ticket, and you just get a pit bull.
Oh, 100%.
A pit bull lawyer.
100%. So this, since that's a sad lottery story, have you ever seen this video? This guy, right, he won a big lottery thing, so then the local news come in and say, hey, could you reenact yourself when you won the big lottery thing? And while he's reenacting winning the lottery, he wins the lottery again. This is one of the greatest videos of all time.
He didn't know it, but that included an engagement, a new job, the new car, and even more good luck when we asked Bill to reenact buying his scratchy ticket.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
You're not, are you?
I just won 250,000.
Imagine that, dude.
Please don't film me.
Please don't film me being the happiest I've ever been. I would go up. Oh my God! Boom! Boom! Grab it, run!
I think I'll have another
Hey,
heart attack.
Phil! Hey, Phil!
I won 250,000.
Fuck you!
Honey. I have.
He didn't.
What a sweet guy, right? What a sweet guy.
No, I'm not a sweet guy. Okay,
you, him.
get to win one. Now you win two. I'm out.
So this is another. That video linked to the. Have you ever seen this? So this guy.
Oh, this is my
This is
favorite
great.
story.
It's amazing.
This is my favorite story.
This guy is interviewing for a job at the BBC.
Yeah.
And somehow, in like some kind
No,
of like
'cause he
comedy
showed up
of
going,
errors.
I'm here for the interview. They're like, oh, come here. We're going to put you in makeup, get you ready.
In this colossal comedy of errors, he ends up being interviewed live on TV while he's there to interview for a tech job. He was like doing some kind of tech stuff, like IT shit. And he ends up live on the BBC. It's so funny, dude. 10 years ago, Guy Goma came for a job interview at the BBC. Look at him looking around. He never imagined he'd end up live on the news channel. Look at him. What's he thinking, dude?
Mean for the industry and the growth of music online. Well, Guy Cuny is the editor of the technology website News Wireless. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Were you surprised by this verdict today?
His name is Guy,
I'm surprised to see this verdict to come on me because I was not expecting that. When I came, they told me something else, and I'm coming. You got an interview there, so it's a big surprise anyway.
A big surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. With regards to the cost that's involved, do you think now more people will be downloading online?
Actually, if you can go everywhere, you're gonna see a lot of people downloading to the internet and the website everything they want. But I think it's much better for the development and to improve people what they want and to get on the easy way and so fast the things they're looking for.
This
like
does
a
really
Mr.
seem
Bean.
to be
It really
the
is
way
so
the music
funny.
industry is progressing now,
Such
that
a
people
Mr.
want
Bean
to go
moment.
onto the
Oh, it's
website
so
and
funny.
download music.
Exactly. You can go everywhere on the cyber cafe and you can check. You can go easy. It's gonna be very easy way for everyone to get something to the internet.
Thank you, thanks very much indeed. I think we.
And he
did get the job.
Oh,
That's
right.
ridiculous.
What are the odds that his name is the exact same name as the guest that was showing up?
Is that
Guy,
why?
The guy, they both had Guy as their first name. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my! And then the guy showed up. He's
And his
like, "I'm
name
ready
is
for
Guy.
my
I'm
interview."
Guy. I'm here for the interview.
Oh no, we're not. We can't interview for the job. We're doing this interview with this guy.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack, tinfoil hack, tinfoil hack.